Hello, I'm Michał Gołębiowski from Lucky Duck Game. I'm one of the creators of our newest announcement, Time of Legend Destinies. Is a collaboration between Lucky Duck Games and Mythic Games. Mythic Games is responsible for this amazing Joan of Arc game with miniatures. You can see the gorgeous minis, they're straight up from the boxes. They look so great, so detailed. And the game is set in the world of Joan of Arc, the vast world they created for their RPG. This game is the very first ever competitive RPG game. So each player competing against each other in a narrative clash. Each player has their own destiny, has the name Destinies. For each player there's a short backstory and multiple ways to fulfill their destinies. All of the destinies between all the players are super intertwined. So every action you make, every choice you make affects not only your progression of events, but the narrative of all the world and of other players. Since the world is a living place, it's both active and reactive to your actions. This game is app supported, app driven. So the app delivers the narrative part. We're in the mid game. For this example, on your turn, you're moving your mini to one of the tiles, and then choosing one of the points of interest on that tile. For an RPG staple, let's go to the inn. Yes, we want to go. The very first thing you see is a brief overview of the place with some bits of information hidden there, which are contextual. So every player will see different contextual information based on what they know from their destiny card. Every information is public. You're playing with one device made for all players. So other players will be feeding on the information you're presenting, but as they do progress through the game, you'll be also feeding on their information. Let's go listen to there are multiple options to explore, so let's go listen to the latest gossip. This is a test, this is a wisdom test, as you can see. So what do? To do a test, you always roll the two main dice that represent your effort being put, but there are also extra effort dice that you may roll. These are a limited resource. You get only one of them per turn, so if you use them up, you just have to wait to refurbish them. So you roll the dice, count the number of pips on the dice, so we have a 6 now. Let's look at the wisdom track. You can see for a 6 we have overpassed 2 wooden bits, so we entered 2 successes. As you can see, there are no specific tiers to reach because the success level is full spectrum from nothing to absolutely everything. So the better you roll, the more successes you reach, the better you do. For this example, this is what gossip would you get if you played this character. So the other cool thing is the scan and play system that we used in Chronicles of Crime, you might know. So for this, as you're in the inn, you may talk with the innkeeper and you may ask them about literally anything. Say hello. So every single card you have has a QR code, so you can talk about literally anything. You may ask about herbs, so you get just like your garden variety response. The other thing you may ask is a bloodhound. For this example, you would get information about the bloodhound. Maybe it's a huntsman bloodhound, maybe you want to return it. But let's talk about the herbalist destiny, because that's what we want to do. It's kind of due to the very bad Gen Con glare you can see in the back. I'll scan the super oversized QR codes from my phone. As you can see, there's a very specific response. That's what the innkeeper thinks about your destiny. That's what innkeeper will tell you in this very specific state. The next time you might visit him, he might have different opinions on facts because the world is ever changing. So let's end the turn for the herbalist. Let's go for the second turn for the deserter. As you can see, all of the tiles have the fog of war side and the colorful side. So as you explore, we'll be flipping the tiles. You click it on the app, and the app tells you how to populate the tile. There's a short overview of what happens on the tile, and there are one-liners for each of the points of interest, telling you what to expect when you go there. In this example, the den you see is a wolf den, so entering there might not be a good place to go for a talks, but maybe some action will happen. Let's click the den. Entering, again, you see a brief overview of the place. You can see that there are at least 5 beasts present, so this is a dangerous place. There are possible tests, attack, run away. But also you can see throw something to the den from the distance. So let's again go to the scan mode. So, essentially, you can scan literally any item. You can scan your tarot card, but if you do that, guess what would happen? Nothing. If you throw a tarot card in the wolf den, it will just get lost. You may throw your faithful animal companion in there, but that's just a bad idea. You've got blood on your hands, it's gonna eat it alive. So let's throw a lantern. Let's try scanning again. Maybe the Gen Con lights will be... Okay, so let's go to our backup scanning option with the oversized QR codes. As you can see, all of the responses are super item specific based on the situation. Here we threw a lantern and we see a loud roar of flames and the wolves are burned dead. Every choice has its consequences. Some choices are good, some choices are bad, but it's up to the player to make them. Let's run away from the wolves. Let's fake a good roll. We're done. So, as the game progresses, players will be reaching their narratives and will be progressing with the storylines. And as I said, this is a competitive game. So, as one player reaches the grand finale, they're entering a chain of events that, based on their previous and current actions, will progress faster and slower. And as the player progresses through their chain of events, they may also, the other players may also rush in the other chain of events. And so even at the very end, you may outrun the other player. And as player reaches the destiny, the world collapses into a narrative state where only one destiny is fulfilled and the other are impossible for others to release. So as you can see, there's a huge narrative part to the game. There are multiple scenarios. Each one is written by a professional writer. Each one has a different set of tiles for them. Each one has fully different destinies. And we're aiming for having like 5 or 6 of them in a box. And as you can see, this is a late demo because we're exploring this. The game is going to be on Kickstarter, I would say soon. We're aiming for late September, so if you're interested in, certainly click in.